When I was in college, I had a professor named Dr. Dana Denard. And Dana Denard, we called him Baba, which is Swahili for father, because he was like a father figure to us, informed me that we'll be reaching an epoch in history where you will not be able to tell the truth by your senses. You won't be able to look and assume the essence of anything anymore, because the art of manufacturing falsehood will be developed to such a high level of expertise. You have to use your inner senses. And I work with the kids. I've been working with youth for on and off for the past 10 years. And I see how these false gods are implanted into their psyche and lead them astray without them knowing it, and without any good parental guidance away from that. They will be destroyed if we don't step up. So this poem is dedicated to all of those who manufacture falsehood. The poem is called Masters of Illusion. I've been looking for an original sin, one with a twist and a bit of a spin. And since I've done all the old ones till they've all been done in, now I'm just looking and I'm gone with the wind, endlessly searching for an original sin. And last night, I got drunk off a pint of historical amnesia, woke up and vomited this digital age. I'm growing tired of being addicted to deception, using my guardian angel's feathers like hypodermic needles, forcing my veins to swallow forgetfulness of my ancestors' sacrifices. My generation is a tree that has declared holy war against its roots, content to pick Martin Luther King's flesh from the cracks in Lil Wayne's grill and act like we're getting full off to scraps, but we are starving. Something is empty inside us. We are porn sites and student loans. We are more familiar with the hangover's porcelain kiss than we are that of our own mothers. And we are single mothers and motherless children, all on the same tax form, with enough lifelong guilt to claim our regrets as dependents. And we are dependent upon credit scores like superheroes, because that's the only thing saving families from drowning these days. And these days, the kids are questioning the basics. Am I alive? Am I a real person? The last woman who touched me made love like a computer virus. The people around me are faking in the iPod images they worship. I haven't seen God since the last stranger had the courage to smile at me. So when I shoot up this classroom, I ain't trying to be a murderer. It's just that bullets are the fastest way I can connect to another person. What made us think that we could bow down before these corporate gods and not pay a blood sacrifice? Our youth are the innocent lambs. I saw the janitor who cleaned up Virginia Tech use his mop to smear the blood over the doors of Wall Street. Dear God, please watch over the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Now pass the peas and the bailout money. Have you had enough of this Matrix-flavored American pie, of this Obama-shaded New World Order? Masters of illusion. They give more money to blue avatars than Native Americans. They make sexy women fight for flavor. They make you think there's actually a such thing as a single virus that causes AIDS, that it's constitutional to pay your taxes. They haven't had a cure for cancer since the 1930s. The war on terror isn't just fancy talk for state-sanctioned ethnic cleansing against the Islamic world. And today, if you were to be struck blind, deaf, and numb, these masters of illusion would be powerless, impotent, invisible, non-existent. They need you and the power that you provide. Like a vampire needs fresh blood to survive. Difference is you give it up willingly, because you're shackled to the wonderland of your senses. And these guys can make jelly beans that taste like butter-flavored popcorn, computer-generated actors who can move you to tears, and Illinois senators that look like messiahs. Tell me, if the next trick was a hologram projected onto the clouds that looked like the second coming of Christ, where would you place your faith? What do you truly stand for? Who have you loved with such abandon that your heart would gladly trade its place on this earth for theirs? All I ever wanted was to know the truth against the pain of death, and I have raged against the dying of the light. I have cursed the ocean of tears I've cried, only to find out there is no holier surface for the true Savior to walk on. And as you reached up and he pulls you from drowning in the waves, what would you do if he were wearing your face? Told you that the red pill you swallowed was painted that shade because it was filled with the blood of martyrs, and that now there's a revolution blooming in your stomach, like a field of flowers fertilized by all that bull crap you swallowed, leaving no room for the puppet master's strings. So spit them up like the earth spit up caskets when they blew up those levees in New Orleans. Open your jaws and release the kraken that's been hiding behind your silence. The time is now. There is no power that these gods have that you have not lent them. There is no lie that's held you captive that you have not secretly loved. There was no chain that you did not feel was justly deserved that could keep you forever bound, because I cannot wait to see what these masters of illusions will do once the red curtain is forever torn down and the man behind it is you. Thank you. So that's Masters of Illusion. It's a little something to jar the kids awake. And now for my final trick. I will do a poem that I wrote for all the weird kids out there. I know that adolescence is a very, very tough time. I was a weird kid, probably still am. And I be wishing I could tell the kids, like, the stuff you think is important in high school ain't gonna matter. Like, these popularity contests, all these little things, who's dating who, like, unless you do something permanent, like get killed or have a baby or fail out, none of it matters. So this is for everybody who's struggling with their differences. And I wrote this poem to myself, to my little inner child, because I'm sensitive, because I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. So this poem is entitled Theo. It goes a little something like this. Theo talks with a stutter. He's so skinny that you can see the jokes through his rib cage before they even make him laugh. The spaces between them fit Bully's knuckles perfectly. It's as fair as the placenta that forgot to feed him. He was born 2 pounds underweight. The girls say he walks like a backfired pickup line. His heart is a love letter burning. His self-esteem was found beneath the boot heel of romantic rejection. That's why they call it a crush. But it's sure as the gray spots on his knobby little knees, every phoenix starts out a little ashy. And the same words that make his speech impossible to hear will one day make Theo a champion. This is for the cheerleader's insult that turned the nerd into a sex symbol, who dried his tears with his gym membership card, who posed for the calendar she will drool at in Barnes & Noble 10 years after the fact. This is for the ugly duckling nesting beneath my ex's Maybelline. For a panic when my inner child kept finding the feathers and tried to give them a proper burial. This cold world needs to cut the crap and make our driver's licenses look like missing children's posters. Replace our names with the word innocence and tire tracks across it, so at least we know why we're protecting ourselves. Adults are just babies in adaptive camouflage. So invisible, our shadows feel abandoned. We tell lies, then expect others to tell us the truth to a face we haven't seen in years. We use the words vulnerable and insane interchangeably. The judgments of others have taught our gentleness to erode the way canyons teach stone about depression. Tupac said that to be an angel in the midst of hell is suicide. But hell's problem has never been the lack of angels in residence, but the fact that it's flooded with them, playing small, over-practicing the art of demonic mask-making like the biblical Sodom was full of saints over-practice and compromise. The hardest thugs are the ones who've had what is most precious taken from them, and we are far too quick to judge people by their after pictures. You judge the madman for his violence. No one taught him how to cry. You judge the peacock for his strut when no one taught him how to fly. You do not know what it took to make someone. The black hole at the center of the galaxy they are, and the healing that burns in the flare-ups of their stars. That's why on a good night, the poetry spot looks like a psych ward with drink specials. An island of misfit toys keeping the inner child on life support. So Theo, I'm sorry that to save your life, I had to bury you. Your suffocating heart is a moth in a jar with no holes, flapping poetry like powder against its walls. This poem is me popping up the cap so you can breathe, letting you know that the child I tried to kill has become my ghostwriter. Use my notebook as a bulletproof shield for their opinions, because they can armchair criticize your choices like you were quarterback in their freaking fantasy football league. But unless they can eat, sleep, and pee for you, they can yank that cork from the butt and shove it in the mouth so the bull crap flows in the right direction. Your revolution is a microphone stitched to your heart, so crank it loud and let us hear it stutter. Thank you very much. I'm Lucifury, Theo Wilson, Slam Nuba. We cut heads. Peace out.